Why? That's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. You did indeed know that you scroll down all the way to the bottom. Wait, this is my savings. Yeah. Wait, this is no savings. Wait, house. Yeah, this is no savings. OP school, OP. There are so many things. You can use this, repeat, what part, what pun, repeat, guys. See, I told you. There's update on Monster Playground. What is Monster Playground? That's well, I think that's just fake. Yeah, it does look like fuck, 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 fake, fake. I mean, fake means FAKE. What was?
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear, eat medicine that's out of date, use your private parts as piranha bait. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways. Teach yourself how to fly, eat a 2-week-old.
I'm considering delete the view dumb. That's not dumb. Dumb ways to die. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, this is official.
Brave the big city or the great outdoors.
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear, eat medicine that's out of date, use your private.
Paul, what 136 of dumb ways to die. This is the last one because it's insane. Check this out. I recently went to the world's largest food fight in Spain, where 22,000 people throw 120,000 kilos of tomatoes in your face. Now, I didn't wear goggles, so my eyes were constantly stinging while I could barely navigate these crazy crowds, and the tomatoes are actually inedible, so swallowing them would be a real dumb way to die. Part 136 of dumb.
Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie.
Strangest ways people have died. Eben Byers was a golf player who got addicted to Radithor, a radioactive water. He drank Radithor until his jaw fell off. And at age of 51, he died by radium poisoning in 1932. In 2022, a tree trimmer working in California died by falling into a wood chipper which was below him. The man identified as Jesus Contreras Benitez.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Yeah? Yeah?
Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Dum 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 dum.
'Tis the season to be jolly.
Dum 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 dum.
Christmas is a time to cherish.
Dum 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 dum.
Don't be dumb or you will perish.
Dum 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 dum.
Be safe around Christmas. Eat medicine that's out of date.
On August 31st, 2021, a Russian indie developer by the name of Sliz released the first version of what would now be called Melon Playground. This version was super basic, only containing a couple items, characters, and barely any maps. But little would he know that this game was about to blow up. For updates 1.8 to 2.0, there wasn't many known changes since literally nobody played the game back then, and Sliz was focused on fixing bugs, such as the fact that the melon was paraplegic and couldn't stand upright. The first major update was version 3.4, adding the new Syringes tab. However, there wasn't nearly as many in this version as we have today. In fact, there was only the Underwater Syringe, Immortality Syringe, Acid Syringe, and Regen Syringe. There was also a bunch of new items added in this version, but they're really boring and mostly just reskins of other items. The next update was 4.0, adding the pumpkin and its fruit counterpart, new button themes, and some new clothes. After that, we have update 5.0, where we finally start seeing major changes. Additions in this update include the ice staff, a snowman, and a present. This present was very weird at the time since you couldn't open it, but it gets extremely important later on. Some other additions include the beard, a Christmas hat, a grenade launcher, the virus syringe, and so much more. 5.1 was a small update, adding the corn character. But 6.0 was a pretty large update, including the railgun, a bunch of new clothing, a few new objects, and this was also the first update to be announced on the official Discord server. I'm sure nothing scandalous will happen there. 6.1 did literally nothing, but 7.0 was probably the biggest update yet. Being nicknamed the medical update, additions include a heartbeat monitor, bandages, splints, medical cap, medical helmet, and so much more. Some more stuff that happened around the update's launch include the creation of an official Melon Playground Twitter, and Sliz sending explicit messages to my 8.0 added the apple, but it can feel pain, a protogun, T, and the achievement you get from it, and the healing syringe. I never knew the healing syringe was added this late in the game. I honestly thought it was added at the start because I cannot live without it. Moving into March, Melon Playground was finally added to iOS with version 8.1, although the actual additions in this update are next to zero. The same can also be said about 9.0, which added nothing, and 9.2, which added nothing, and 9.3, which added nothing, and 10.0, which added a nuclear bomb. 10.0, being the 10th official update to the game, had some pretty huge content drops, including nuclear and Monroe bombs, circular saws, revolver, cup thrower, rocket launcher, propeller, wing, ranger, and the button toggle. This update was clearly quite large, but it only gets crazier easier from here. 11.0 added the bumpy map and whatever this map is, the impulse gun, and the greatest addition of all time, the melon cooler. I also started playing around this update because I couldn't resist downloading an app that had the holy melon cooler. 12.0 was a mini update, only adding the wheel, but we got to see some content in 13.0. The changes in this update include a weapon editor, sunglasses, a bandana, tool gun, turret, resizable items, character rotting, and an option to kill a melon. Also, they removed the medical category for some reason. 13.2023 changed the app icon, and 14.0 brought back the medical category and added new items, weather sounds, parachutes, limb connectors, and you can now stab water guns with syringes to change their effects. 15.0 changed the app icon to be extremely goofy. Like, what is that? Besides the horrendous app icon, 15.0 also added the Jeep and tennis racket. 15.1.0 was an accidental update. There's literally no info about this update online. It's genuinely an anomaly. 16.0 changed the app icon to something less disgusting and also renamed the game to Melon Sandbox, probably to not get sued by People Playground. 17.0 was called the Lights update, but I prefer to call it the Pointless update because it added the most useless items ever. The paintball gun, doing nothing. The flashlight, doing nothing. The Edison lamp, which I guess can be used for mechanical stuff if you just forgot the button existed. The festoon, which is just so weird. The street light, doing nothing. The candle, doing candle things, and the candlestick, holding candles. 18 broke the curse of updates being entirely pointless, adding the workshop. This workshop isn't the same as the one we have now with overpriced mods. It was actually really good. The main issue with this workshop was that there wasn't many items on it, but the main appeal for it was that everything was either entirely free or just required one addy, in stark contrast to the predatory Melcoin items we have today. Some other stuff in this update includes the cake and the firework that I throw at non-subscribers. 19.0 added the cactus character, the desert theme, the bus, and a bunch of new clothing, moving on to what I like to call the modern era of Melon Playground. Update 20.0 was also fairly large. Additions in this update include the spruce tree, 2 new categories, new clothing including the shirt, keffiyeh half, Santa costume, elf hat, sweater, and a new Christmas theme. This is also when the workshop starting having events, such as the recent Halloween one we had. This one was Christmas themed. 20.24 was a small update celebrating New Year's, only having bug fixes and a New Year's event, but 21.0 was a pretty large update. 21.0 includes the tomato character being the first character having special properties, slider, wheel, relative, and collision disable ropes, a custom rope creator, the truck, a huge amount of new clothing, bricks, a bunch of UI changes, and bug fixes. This update was quite well received by the community, but I cannot say the same for Update 22.0. Update 22.0, titled The Workshop Update, introduced Melcoins and a huge workshop redesign. This was honestly really disappointing since we were waiting for an update for so long and just got this pay-to-win garbage. 22.04 was also pretty bad, removing the ability to load external Mel saves and Mel mods for some reason. 23.0 finally broke the curse of horrible updates though, adding the previous vote winner, the acid map, a set scripts option in the mod editor, apple trees, plane trees, palm trees, the bush, the vote for the map added in 25.0, and a bunch of improvements listed here. This also gave a use to the present I mentioned earlier, letting you open it to get the 661, being a bunch of boring bugs, new control scheme, the figure out how to use the synthesizer letting you or Diddy and Drake will show up at your house tomorrow.